thought today I would talk about finding balance between our intuition and our rational mind. That I think when we start off on our spiritual journey, and this happened to me, there's a certain period of time where magical thinking or our imagination starts to really awaken, but it can come into almost a place that's a little out of balance, where we are willing to follow our imagination or magical thinking without ever double checking our intuitive hits or what we will believe will happen if we do take certain steps with our rational mind. And that our intuition is meant to function with our rational mind, that we allow our intuition to lead the way. And so we feel into what feels like the best choice for me right now. Or if we're thinking about considering people to be friends or partners, or even looking for different apartments, we can feel into, when I'm in this environment or I'm spending time with this person, how does this feel? Do I feel good around them? Because we will feel good around the right people. And so if we don't feel good, and when we're looking for apartments or spending time with people, it's usually a good sign that it's probably not the right person or place to be in. And we can always double check this with our rational mind, which our rational mind is our understanding. And so if I take the time to still continue to get to know this person, even though I didn't feel the greatest meeting them, or maybe I was going through an intense emotional period and I had less access to my intuition, my inner knowing, or my inner feelings. And so I spend time with this person and I get to see, okay, are they making choices that are fully aligned with the choices that I'm making? Are they lost in addictive patterns that I wouldn't choose for myself? Is their level of self-care, like the level of exercise they do, the diet they eat, does that match how I treat my body? And could I see myself living with this person 5 years down the road if it's going to be a partner? And we use our rational mind to double check our feelings with people, because if we just follow our feelings, then we can kind of move into fantasy land of, I'm just following what feels good without really taking any time to go, okay, it feels good, but is this actually going to work out in the future long term, or am I just following an impulse? Because our impulses, our intuition, and our imagination, our intuition will sometimes be an impulse and will sometimes come from a place of our imagination. But the way to check of, is it something I'm just imagining or fantasizing about, or is that something that actually would be aligned and in the right direction for me to move to? Does that logically make sense? And 90% of the time, a lot of the choices we are going to make in our life will get an intuitive hit, and then it will also logically make sense for where our life is at in this moment. And the other 10% of the time, we'll have to have some level of trust of, I may not know exactly where I'm going, but this really feels like the truth or the right direction for me, and so I'm willing to take little risks. And oftentimes the people, or maybe newer people who enter spirituality, there's sometimes a belief of, I sacrifice my mind for my heart. I put my mind on the altar, I sacrifice it like the Aztecs for rain, and I'm fully in my heart. But our mind and heart are soulmates, and if you just function from one, then you're functioning from a place of out of balance. And that doesn't mean if you're single or alone that you're out of balance, because we all have a masculine and feminine part within us. But we use both of them as a system of balancing each other out. And we need, and real, like if you ever communicated with a guide or an angel or any higher illumined being, they might represent themselves as either masculine or feminine, but if you felt into their energy of masculine and feminine energy would be completely balanced within them. And that's what true enlightened illumined spirituality is I double check my impulses, I double check my imagination, my intuition, whatever I want to call it, with my rational mind. And if I receive a hit from my rational mind of a direction that might be good, because sometimes we get ideas that'd be like, oh, that's a cool idea. Then we go, okay, if I move in that direction, does it feel good? And so we use the same checks and balance system, whether we're getting ideas or insights or we're getting feelings and impulses. And some people might get more feelings and impulses, and some people might get more ideas and insights. And it's never anything that if you get more ideas and insights, you're a less evolved being, because the mind is not less than the heart. The mind and heart are equal, and some people will evolve their heart first before evolving their mind, and some people will evolve their mind first before evolving their heart. And both paths are unique and important and are equal, and it's just about the journey that you're on. And so it isn't so much about trying to be in our heart and avoiding our mind, but it's about merging our mind and heart as one and helping them start to work together in perfect union with one another. That our heart, naturally, if you felt into your heart, usually your heart feels rather empty and spacious. And sometimes people say, my mind is noisy. I have a monkey mind. I can't quiet it down. Well, maybe an idea would be to take the love that's within your heart and start to bring it up into the mind. Because if your heart is naturally peaceful, maybe it's just, and your mind is quite noisy, maybe your mind is telling you it just needs more heart energy. The same is with our mind. If we feel like we're just flowing with the wind, but we feel like we have no direction in our life, that we don't really know where we belong, and that we are following our impulses, but they often are unfulfilling or not leading us to good situations, then we probably need to take some more time to listen and communicate and connect with our mind, because our mind is our discernment, our mind is our honesty, our mind is in our integrity. And if we feel like we're missing some of our honesty or integrity or discernment and what is right, then it's about connecting to your mind. And if we hear thoughts like you shouldn't date them, or we hear thoughts of maybe there's a better partner out there for you, or I think you should move in this, if we hear a thought of this career would be a good idea for you, can we be curious about those thoughts? Because I think a lot of times when people receive ideas or insights, they get lost in, is that right or is that wrong? And they bounce 500 times, and I've done this, between the left and right choice, unsure of which choice is right from them, and weighing the pros and cons of each choice and bouncing between which one is right, back and forth, without ever actually showing curiosity of why that idea or that direction or those thoughts of I should or shouldn't date this person, or should or shouldn't be friends with this person. Why did that pop into our head? And oftentimes, if we just take time to show our mind greater curiosity or attention, or just to be curious of why did that just pop into my head? Is there truth in that? Is that my inner child just trying to get my attention, or is that my inner child trying to point me in, there's something you're not looking at with this person or situation or the direction you're moving into? And the greater curiosity we show ourselves will always bring greater healing, and also will bring greater inner knowing of what is because a lot of times our knowing comes from our innocence. Sometimes it comes from our guides or our higher self, but sometimes it comes from our innocence. And our innocence only will feel safe or will only tell you what you need to know when it has your attention and when it feels like what it's saying is being heard. And so it's the curiosity that actually allows our innocence, which is another word for our heart, our innocent heart, what it's trying to show us in that moment, or what do we need to know in that moment. And so can we take more time rather than trying to be in our heart or be in our mind, but taking time to love on our heart, to love on our mind, to give our heart and mind greater attention and curiosity, to feed our heart and mind with good things, whether if we're going through tense emotions. I've been going through some rather tense, like anxiety the past 2 days. And something that's worked for me is just taking whatever I'm feeling and writing it out. You can turn it into a poem, you can turn it into a song, or you can just the willingness to express the heaviest feelings you're feeling, or to give yourself a voice of whatever feels trapped inside of you will instantly start to clear it the moment you give it an outlet. And so if we're having a heavy heart or a noisy mind, can we give those parts of ourselves attention, curiosity, and also outlets for expression? And can we feed our heart and mind more often with things that are supportive for it, rather feeding our mind things that we're passionate about, things that light us up and are exciting, without like doom scrolling or scrolling on our phone more often. And I definitely still scroll on my phone a fair amount, so it's all about moderation, they say. And with our heart, can we give our heart more of an outlet? Can we give our mind even more of an outlet? And can we allow the love within our heart to go up into our mind? And can we allow the discernment, the honesty, and the integrity of our mind to go down into our heart? And can we start to have them work as one? And just to close this out, maybe we can do a little visualization of just seeing pure white light in your mind, and then pure white light in the center of your chest. And then imagine a cord or a column of pure white light connecting the two. And just feeling this connection for a couple of breaths. Seeing this white light getting stronger with each breath we take. And as we continue to breathe, we're going to feel the heart and the mind start to merge down into the chest as one. And then see it move all the way into the gut. Our gut is when our mind and our heart, as we fully embody our light, start to move down into our gut as their natural resting space. And so just feeling this merging of our mind and heart and moving down into the gut, and feel it resting there. And just notice how this feels as we now have this pure white ball of light glowing in our gut. We'll slowly start to come out of it. Take a couple good breaths. And just to close out, the more love we give our mind and our heart, the more of an outlet we give them, the quieter, the softer, or gentler the thoughts we have will become. So I hope that helps. Thank you.